from London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping bring you the motivation, inspiration, and some other stuff to help kickstart your day. Hoo-yah! This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Join the motivation. Join the motivation.
Good morning! Hello from the good old UK. How's your day going so far? Are you dragging your heels already? Or are you up and about chasing the day down? Trying to make something special happen for you. I have his option too, but if you're a little bit down today, what can we do to turn that frown upside down? I mean, it's a serious question. Some people hate getting up. Some people hate getting out of bed. The whole day ahead of them. And in some terms, some people hate the fact they even woke up. Now, some might think it's a dark avenue to go down on a motivational podcast from the guy that's talking to a microphone about how we should all be chasing the dream, chasing the vision, the one that we want to see ourselves in. But this is the truth out there for some people. If you look at the subject from the outside, how do you help someone that has issues and troubles? For most people, no. If you see someone in trouble, someone needs a bit of help, maybe falling over or looking a little bit distressed, the natural human behaviour is to try and help that person. And as I said, that's not for everyone for whatever reason. Sometimes helping a complete stranger can be quite easy. If you think about a place like the Samaritans, for those of you who have not heard of them, they are an incredible UK charity aimed at providing emotional support to anyone in emotional distress, struggling to cope or at risk of suicide throughout the UK and Ireland, and often through their telephone helpline. The people who answer the phones to the Samaritans are all volunteers and do not get paid anything. And they answer millions of calls a year. Shout out to those guys. Now, it doesn't matter what walk of life you're in. If you're rich, poor, living comfortably, everyone is going to have issues and problems. And as much as you may well sit and moan and whatever issue you've got going on right now in your life, the truth is, what you class as a problem, I can guarantee you that someone else will quite happily swap it for theirs. I mean, if they thought it was worse than theirs, of course they would. Now, if you're sitting there moaning about the train being late, that to you right now is a huge inconvenience. You might have been a little bit late for work. I don't know. You probably forget about it later today, tomorrow, next week. But how about the next person who's just found out they have a life-threatening illness? Okay, yeah, I get it. That is from one extreme to the other, but this happens every day somewhere in the world. And I'm sure we can agree on which problem or issue you'd rather have out of the two. So, I mean, helping strangers is one thing, but what about when you try and help and motivate someone close to you? Wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, just close family. This can be a whole different ballgame in terms of how you approach it, and for you, the outcome on the relationship with the person. It is easy to lose a spark when you're facing a challenge in life. Nowadays, many people do feel tired and exhausted due to stress, losing a job, just a bit of an overload. If your partner or someone else from your close family is facing hard times, then you will have a great role to support them and to help find out the way in which they can move forward. If you really love your significant other, you should do your best to boost their confidence, try and motivate them, especially when they feel down. Show your love and care for them to understand that they're not alone. You should be ready to deal with nervousness, because when we have problems, we usually turn them emotional and we lose a bit of stability. So here are some tips that could help you motivate your loved one to handle the situation. Help them become strong again. Now, I know some might work, some might not, but at least you're trying, aren't you? So, our first reason for this, find the reason. So, trying to determine the cause of your partner or your family, friends, close friends, whoever it is, try to find the root of their problem. If it's possible, Try to create a cozy atmosphere, find a suitable moment to talk to them and understand what's bothering them. When you know the reason, you can start on the emotional support instead of just criticizing and commenting that, you see your beloved is changing in a bad way for whatever reason. Next one is suggesting small steps, and each of these steps I've kind of laid them out in a kind of template of how you can approach the situation step by step. Again, it might work, it might not. Not a trial and error. I mean, you know the person better than I do. So yeah, suggesting small steps. And sometimes the way to your dreams can be long and complicated. You can find the goal unachievable because of the unexpected challenges and obstacles that arise alongside the journey. Now, if your beloved doesn't know what to do, where to begin, or how to move forward, you can try and suggest to them to start with small steps and actions, because obviously this is the best way to get started. You can share your vision of the situation and, of course, suggest a list of small steps. Sometimes people just need that first step to help them get themselves going. Like anyone, come onto my calendar, ldlcall.com. If you have an issue and you're not really sure how to get started, we can have a chat. It's a free call. I'll listen to you. I'll say what I think, and we can go from there. But with your loved one, again, look, you know them better than I do. You know the best way to approach them and how you can get the small steps going, don't you? Our next one then. This one may be a little difficult, but try and lead them out of their comfort zone. Now, you can let your love give them enough strength to face the world without any fears. Most of the time, people are very scared to go out of the comfort zone, either because they've suffered a bit of a trauma from a past experience, or anxiety of trying to face something new and unfamiliar things and circumstances. Again, completely normal. But you can try and be their strength and refuge, and let them know that if things get rough, you'll be there to hold the hand and face the world together. Supporting. Next one is to encourage them to choose optimism and positivity. Now, don't let them drown in self-pity and the unnecessary emotions, especially during the hard times. It's natural and normal to feel helpless whenever someone is bombarded by challenges, but let them realize that this is what life is about. And when life gives you lemons, you can make the best and tastiest lemonade together. Inspire them to become more ambitious and determined. Relationships should not feel like a cage, especially if one of you is a dreamer and a free spirit. Let your partner or your close friends, let them fly. Let them fly and inspire them to achieve their goals, especially without letting your commitment become a burden. Instead of overprotecting them, from what's out there, give them wings to fly high. At the end of the day, look, they're going to come home to you, aren't they? Awaken their desire to live and enjoy a happy life. People can't be at their best all the time, especially if they're going through a really difficult stage in life. Sometimes your cheerful girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, or close person and family, they can become emotional and sad. Sometimes, the person you love just gets a bit depressed, loses interest in the things that you used to enjoy. Your job as your partner or your good friend is to remind them that life is still beautiful. And no matter how sad or angry or scared they may feel right now, better days will come, and they will. You can also help them trust themselves. So never let your partner, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, never let them make them feel that the decisions are wrong and that they're incapable of making the right choices. The last thing you really want to do is to make them feel that they can't trust their own instincts and they can't, rely on their own judgment, especially when times are hard and they have a low confidence. Which nicely leads to the next one, which is give evidence of their success. If your partner's things are not going well, try to provide a bit of encouragement by offering a pep talk. You are the one who should remind them how wonderful and talented they truly are, and you give an example of past accomplishments. Try and persuade them in their, originality and abilities that they can actually make their dreams come true. Fallbacks do happen. This strategy will help boost your partner's self-confidence and, of course, self-esteem. Now, don't overdo it. Now, when we want to help somebody, we should be careful not to put too much pressure on. Again, the goals that they set need to be their goals and not yours. Too good isn't good as well. If you're not doing it too much, then, it becomes a little bit insincere. So don't gush too much about those goals and the accomplishments. Just remind them about the advantages from time to time in order to give them, that little push to live happier. But just because you shouldn't praise too much doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Just moderation. Reward each attempt. Now, it's very difficult to start doing something new and unknown, especially if you, been a bit depressed during the hard times. When that person you are helping does achieve something, a nice little result, show them your happiness and appreciation. Enjoyable rewards make them more enthusiastic and relentless. When you see that all their efforts and actions make you happy and meet your common needs, they will get an extremely high desire and motivation to become better, which is obviously better for themselves. It is desirable not to blame your loved one with every little detail, because all your efforts to motivate them to be successful will be in vain. Find something positive in their actions. If you have given your partner or close family member any advice to do certain small steps, especially to get through the hard times, you should feel a responsibility for your actions and try to notice all the good things that result from their actions. Mouthful. You can find different positive moments and changes in their deeds. If they're going for sports, you can remind them how strong and wonderful they look. You get the idea. Persuade them to plan ahead and to believe in the future. Beyond passion and romance, relationships should accept the realities of life and the responsibilities of living. Plan ahead financially, as a couple, as a unit. Invest in something promising, try new things, and be a more responsible adult. Love may be the purest and most beautiful thing in the world, but it doesn't pay the bills. It's always better to look and plan ahead, especially for the short term and the long term, especially if you want to have a bright future together. Finally, just let them be whatever they want to be. As long as it's not hurting them, we do not have the right to demand someone to change and be a different person just because what we think doesn't fit our definition of what is good and perfect. That's why it's important to be reminded that the only time it is fair to influence someone's ideals, thoughts and beliefs if these aspects are the person that is starting to lead them astray. If they're going down the wrong road, that's when you need to step in. It's important that we should be there to inspire and encourage our significant other to be a better person, not based on our own definition, nor our desire to be in control of that human being, but what they feel. You should always keep in mind that as a partner, you have to accept that your significant other, for what they are and what they want to become, it's your role to inspire them to be a better person, but it's not your right to force them to change. Trying to help someone close to you can be more difficult than someone that you have no idea or no attachment about. And that can be the difficult part. But you'll get there. There'll be anger, there'll be resistance. But at the end of the day, all you can do is be there for them and when you may need that helping hand. If you would like to unlock your true potential, and of course if you're ready, I would love to work with you one-on-one. If you would like to know what the LDL method can do for you, or how it can benefit you and help you live your life on a higher level, you can book your free call at ldlcall.com. I'll call you, and even let's just have a chat. Hey, I'm here for you. Look after yourself and each other, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. 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 Motivation.